So there's been a handful of recent exciting news surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6, mainly a possible release window or at the very least some type of official announcement of the game in the form of some type of artwork. Well, yes, Rockstar has fully confirmed a while ago that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in fact in full development, and we've gotten this confirmation from Rockstar a handful of ways, ranging from an explanation as to why they're pulling the plug on Red Dead Online to coming out and calming everyone over the massive Grand Theft Auto 6 leak that happened last year, reassuring everyone that despite the many different alpha stage videos and various codes of the game being leaked, the release time of this massive title has not been affected. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Grand Theft Auto 6 is without a doubt one of, or possibly the most anticipated game of all time. Rumors, leaks, or any type of information pertaining to it can easily be a load of shit, but maybe this time it's not. You see, these next 2 months historically for Rockstar Games are very significant. September of 2023 will mark the 10-year anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 5, specifically September 13th, as that's when the game officially launched all the way back in 2013 on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And it's not just any speculation that Rockstar will indeed have some sort of celebration of this milestone. Typically, Rockstar doesn't really celebrate any type of anniversary of their games with the exception of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy that we got last year. GTA Online and the success of Grand Theft Auto 5 itself is basically unprecedented in gaming history, or even for the company history of Rockstar, and so it would make sense for them to have any type of celebration. Now, whether if it was just an intentional publicity stunt or a genuine mistake of a happy employee that inadvertently let the slip up happen, but whatever the case, earlier this year, outfits celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 5 actually leaked online prematurely, only for them to then be decisively removed quickly after. But that wasn't until after people got to see outfits appearing to contain cryptic messages alluring to some type of connection to aliens, with said outfits reading quote-unquote connect the lines and quote-unquote we are watching. Now, obviously Halloween is right around the corner, so that too could be an explanation for these outfits and the cryptic captions being tied to aliens, which could have its own tie to the holiday, and that would be entirely plausible, but maybe it's not entirely true. With October following the month of September, the possibility of Grand Theft Auto 6's announcement gets even more exciting, considering October was the month Grand Theft Auto 5 was originally teased and announced, with the official trailers dropping for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions in that month. October is also the same month Red Dead Redemption 2 was teased, and then for the remainder of the month got a series of trailers. Now, if you don't pay that much attention to the business side of things, Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, basically the company that owns Rockstar, has made it clear that they have a strong lineup of video games set to release now between 2025, and that includes the mobile market as well. In the past, when they talked about titles that were coming out, they also mentioned remasters, remakes, and older titles, which they could have already been alluring to the Red Dead Redemption port that we got recently on the PlayStation 4, but it would make sense between now to the beginning stages of 2024 that we start seeing some type of trailers or announcements or any type of hype officially from Rockstar with an early 2025 release. Obviously, that's all for speculation, but another thing I wanted to touch on in this video was this image right here. I'm sure you guys have been seeing this image float around for quite some time, and this is basically a concept image of the map that we're supposed to be getting in Grand Theft Auto 6. The general consensus is that this is going to be the official map, considering the concept that was leaked of the Grand Theft Auto 5 map turned out to be real, and with this source being pretty much the same exact one, most people are just taking this image and going along with it, saying it's going to be official, which is perfectly fine. You know, I don't have any problem with a huge, massive map, especially with Grand Theft Auto when there's so many ways to get around the map, from boats to planes, helicopters, motorcycles, ATVs, dirt bikes. You know, the list can go really on and on. There's so many ways to get around the map in Grand Theft Auto 5 alone, and I'm sure in Grand Theft Auto 6, Rockstar's gonna blow that completely out of the water. My thing is, looking at Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically, I loved and still love both of these games. Red Dead Redemption 2 without a doubt has so many more possibilities and opportunities to get lost in the world because it seems to be infinitely more interactive. Even basic activities like a shootout, I think it's entirely different from Red Dead Redemption 2 to Grand Theft Auto 5, or even, you know, simple stuff like just interacting with the NPCs and just watching everyone go about their day-to-day business. They seem to be much more fleshed out in RDR2. And like I was saying, I don't know if that's really a technological difference between when these two games came out, or if it's really an intentional fundamental difference, with Grand Theft Auto catering more towards the arcade side of things, while Red Dead Redemption it has more of a grounded approach with a much stronger emphasis on narrative and world building. But even in the map in Red Dead Redemption, it's massive. And the only way to get around that map is obviously by horseback. Rockstar in general, I personally have never had any type of complaints of getting from point A to point B. It's always been enjoyable. It's always been a wonderful experience, especially with the randomized events. You know, there's always stuff to do and environments to get lost in. But looking at the map from Grand Theft Auto 6, it looks like it's going to be massive, and that's not entirely a bad thing. I don't think Rockstar has the same problem as Ubisoft when it comes to having these open worlds that are completely empty, but what I'm hoping is that the map is so large that it loses some of its charm. Grand Theft Auto 5, for instance, it's a big map. Again, not complaining about it at all. My thing with it is parts of the map I feel are very charming, yet they're underutilized. And while I'm all for locations where they promote player exploration, they promote people to go out, find these locations, and really have their own personal memories and experiences with said locations to be able to cater to that level of imagination and creativity. But I would have loved to see more stuff around, say, the wine vineyard in the mountains that separate Los Santos from Blaine County, or even Paleto Bay. I love that look. I don't know what it is, but I love Paleto Bay so damn much. And I think if it wasn't for the whole bank in Paleto Bay that you end up hitting, or even the Strangers and Freaks mission of Trevor and the cafe that you can buy out there, that whole section, it's charming, it's beautiful. I don't know what it is about it. It's just relaxing, it's rustic, yet without those small little things, with the exception of that main massive bank heist that you kind of just burn through really quickly, it's underutilized. It would have been nice to have a more constant character based out in Paleto Bay, or even out in Blaine County over by the concrete mill. There's a patch of buildings and a couple businesses there. It would have been nice to have some type of constant character there. So I'm not saying it's all bad. I would just love that if this map is really going to be this big and we do get so many different towns and small cities or small towns, or however you want to say it, it would be nice to have each one have their own character, their own flair, a set of gangs where you're kind of venturing into a small little quote-unquote country, I guess, to help really promote the economy within said city or said town. Because in real life, that's ultimately how it is. Whenever you venture outside of your own city limits or you go into the wrong neighborhood, you can feel like you're an outsider. You can already see that people are looking at you different because they can tell just by looking at you that you don't belong. You're not from here. And in some cases, you already get a little bit of that in Red Dead Redemption 2 when you go to Strawberry or even Saint Denis or even Rhodes. You start getting looked at a little differently, and each of those towns have their own little charm to it. There's a different mentality, and people go about their business and their daily routines much differently. Obviously, that's a little different because back in those days, with a time period that Rockstar is really trying to captivate with this game, you're kind of isolated. You don't really venture outside your comfort zone or your daily comforts, I guess you can say. But it's still something they can take and reapply into Grand Theft Auto 6. And that's personally what I would love to see most. And yes, I'm excited for the story and, of course, the gunplay and the physics and all of that. But based off my last video, as I was saying, with Grand Theft Auto in general, not even just Grand Theft Auto 5, and even Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar has really been able to hone in their ability and their talent for creating worlds that you can completely get lost in. And I think over the years, we've been able to see the cracks that Grand Theft Auto 5 had in terms of that. Like, I still think GTA 4's world is much better in terms of getting lost in. Maybe you could just say that's Rockstar chalking up the whole Los Angeles feel, that everything is all superficial, but deep down it's empty and nothing's really there. And they could just say that's a piece of art, and that's what they're trying to say at the end of the day. But I don't think that's what they're going for. Anyways, I'm sorry if this came off a little rambly. I just seen Grand Theft Auto 6 news coming out, and I'm excited. Of course, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that stuff and going to be watching very eagerly to see what exactly Rockstar has up their sleeves. But in the meantime, hey, thank you so much for watching and stopping by. Let me know what you think about Grand Theft Auto 6. What are you, I guess, looking forward to the most? Is it the world, the characters, the gunplay, the story, the missions, heists? I don't know. Let's talk down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and hey, maybe consider subscribing for more GTA content, or really, I don't know, video essays in general. But till next time, see you all later.